Linebackers coach Brian Jean-Marie. To ask a question to coach, please hit the raise your hand function. We'll go to Eric Kane, then Patrick Brown.
Eric Kane, the sports animal, and welcome to Knoxville, coach. Been a lot of turnover at that inside linebacker spot with guys leaving to the portal and going here and there and graduating and whatnot. What have you seen from those guys so far in your time in Knoxville, and how do you think they've responded during off-season conditioning and all that?
First off, thank you for having me here. They've been great. The guys have been attentive and very eager to learn, Coach Banks' new system. They've, come in with a bounce in their step, with some of the things that Coach Heupel has, installed so far for the program. So it's been great every day that we've got a chance to get together. Those guys, like I said, they've been sponges, kind of getting to the point where they're a lot more comfortable asking questions. And, obviously they wanted to get a chance to know me as an individual coach and learn, Coach Banks' system as far as defense. But everything has been positive so far. I have no complaints.
Hey, Brian, Patrick Brown with 24/7 Sports. You spent, I think, a decade with Charlie Strong, a couple different places in Michigan last year. What made this the time to jump to Tennessee and come work with the staff? And what do you remember about your games against UCF when you were down there at USF as a defensive coordinator?
First off, obviously Coach Strong was a, big mentor for me. He gave me my first opportunity along with Coach Holtz to actually work in this conference. So I was a graduate assistant with those guys back in the early 2000s. But I felt like the time was right. Obviously, I have a history with Coach Heupel, respect, everything that he's done as far as not just the offensive, guy, but, as a coordinator, but also what he did as a head coach, down at Central Florida. I think he's got, the right mix of, explosive offense, but they also, did a great job as a full team to win, here in this conference. So it was enticing and probably, it was, offer, too good to turn down. And just, from, like I said, from the experiences at UCF, like I said, a very, very explosive, aggressive team. They're a team that, going to take their shots, obviously, as far as getting downfield, but a team that you had to defend from sideline to sideline, that was going to be equally as explosive, with the pass game as they were with the run game, and probably one of the more difficult teams to prepare for, that I've had, to prepare for throughout my whole career. So to be on, obviously a team with him, like I said, was too enticing. And I know they're going to put some points on the board and give us a chance to win a lot of games.
David Ubben, then Gustavo.
Hey, Brian, David Ubben with The Athletic. How would you describe the role and responsibilities of middle linebackers in this defense?
With any defense, I know there's different defenses and different, fronts and different responsibilities with every defense you have. But the middle linebacker is always going to be the captain of the defense. That's kind of through history has proven. So that guy's going to have to be the captain. He's going to have to be the guy that communicates with the front, four guys, the defensive line, outside linebackers, and communicate with the secondary. So there is a leadership role that comes with that position. And, he's going to be, the captain of the defense, whether it's obviously not necessarily the captain of the team, but he's got to take the leadership role and be one of the guys that, obviously the rest of the guys on defense look to kind of right the ship, on the field without the coaches being there with him.
Coach Gustavo Tomazelli, WHK 90.3 The Rock. You worked with some big schools on the Big 10, Big 12 in the ACC, but it's the first time you worked in an SEC school. How does, how you feel about that, you take on a school in the SEC, which is a so tough conference?
It's a great challenge. Obviously the SEC is regarded as the best football conference in college football. So, you have an opportunity to come here, especially at a program, like the University of Tennessee. It's a great challenge and one that, you're always looking forward to, see, how you would do as a coach in this conference, and you're playing against playing and coaching against the best players and the best coaches in college football. So it's exciting. It's exciting. You get a chance to, obviously match wits, but obviously, go against some of the, better programs in the country. So, if you feel like you're, a good coach and you're tied to obviously a good program, it's something that, like I said, it's opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, I would say that, you wouldn't turn down and you're excited to be a part of.
Go to Ben McKee, then Austin Price.
Coach Ben McKee of Rocky Top Insider. Have you had a chance to reach out to Henry To'oTo'o and Kavash Crouch? And also just with those two kind of being in the transfer portal and maybe undecided, has it been difficult to get a grasp of your new room with those two guys undecided?
No, first part of the question, I've had conversations with them, but with them being in the portal, my focus has been the guys that are here. And, the room with the guys that are here has been fine. I mean, that's just part of football, and you guys all know that from covering football. No matter how well or, how thoughtfully planned out something is, between injuries and other circumstances, you have to go with the guys that are available. And that's kind of how we're looking at it. Obviously those two are great players, and we'll see what happens with them, obviously in the future. But for right now, I'm focusing on the guys that are with us. And like I said, they've been great. And, like I said, have been sponges soaking up everything that we're doing, and been very, very happy with, the guys that are here, going through the weightlifting and the conditioning every day, as part of the volunteer program.
Coach Austin Price of VolQuest and Rivals. How important do you feel like spring practice is when you're a new defensive staff? A lot of the experience on this staff may be on the defensive side, but the continuity lies on offense. So for you guys to get continuity working together in the meeting room, on the practice field, and then two, specifically at your position, you talk about everything, you liking what you see, or to this point, or they're doing everything you're asking them to do. Do you think it feels like because there has been change at your position and change with the staff that, the newness kind of, you're starting fresh together instead of old ideas versus new ideas?
I think so. The first part of your question, spring practice is one of the most important parts as far as building a team. As you saw last year, without, a lot of teams getting spring practice because, of the COVID-19 epidemic, you saw how slow some teams started, and probably, guys were having to figure each other out, coaches and players, because they didn't have the spring practice. So I think it's very, very important. And, as far as the staff and the players, it is our first introduction to, football, 11 on 11 with us putting a actual game plan in and watching these guys run around. And it's the closest thing we're going to get to a game. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very important. And like I said, it's a process because they're getting to know us and we're getting to know them. We know their strengths and weaknesses. We'll know them a lot better once we get out of spring practice. But I think with some of the veteran guys that we have on staff here, they've been in a lot of different systems and have had the opportunity to obviously coach under a bunch of different coaches. So I think it's been a seamless transition with those guys. Coach Banks has done a great job of bringing in his package and allowing guys to kind of fit how they see things into that package. And it's been good. And obviously we want to see how that works, going into spring practice, but everything's been great so far.
Jimmy Himes.
Coach Jimmy Himes with the Sports Animal in Knoxville. With the offenses that you see, the variety of offenses in the up tempo, how important is it for you to have 3 down linebackers?
Obviously it's going to be important because, with the up tempo offenses, they keep the guys that are on the field, during the first and second down. They keep them on the field on third down if they're going at a certain tempo where you can't sub to get your different packages in. So we have to have guys that are versatile enough, obviously, to be good enough to stop the run, and are going to be obviously adequate enough to defend the pass. That's kind of the problems with going against up tempo offenses, because they can get you in a certain package and keep you in it, if you're not able to stop them, on third down. So that's going to be, one of our main goals coming out of spring, is to see which linebackers we have that can stay on the field, no matter the situation.
Thank you, Coach. We'll